There's Thuggase Live Guitar Music that comes in every Monday through Friday, live at 5 or a little bit after. EVLP Network, YouTube. Check us out, subscribe, type in Newswire, Roy Blecker. You'll see my nice, smiling, shining face coming all across the airwaves. Man, what a day we got. Big case jump. We'll get to the Meta Google cases here in a sec. Sheriff Chad beats back BS Rob Bonnet in court. Once again, Newsom says he needs to be, and the Democrats need to be more ruthless. Susan Shelley on at the bottom of the hour. But as we had the lead story of the day, Meta finds, jury finds, Meta failed to protect kids from sexual predators, misled users, ordered to pay $375 million in landmark case. That was the one that dropped in New Mexico yesterday. Today, they lost again in court, in an LA court, in a Pacific case with one person. And this was supposed to be the one they thought they had their strongest bet on, that they might be able to beat. They lost this one also. They're not doing well at all. It's about time they were held liable for the harm that they have done. Here is the NBC News report on the case that was settled today in Los Angeles. Here we go.
Deliberations, a jury has found Meta and YouTube negligent in their design and causing harm to a teen in a landmark decision. The case centers on a 20-year-old woman's claim that her use of social media as a child addicted her to that technology. A jury agreeing, finding that both of those media giants liable, and awarding the plaintiff, who's known as KGM, $3 million in damages. The jury's now back deliberating to decide what, if any, punitive damages should also be awarded. Let's get right to NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung. NBC News legal analyst Misty Maris joins us as well. Both of them have been following this case really closely. Brian, I'll start with you. What ultimately did jurors decide here, and have we heard anything from either company, Meta or YouTube?
Yeah, well, what the jury decided here is that in the case of both YouTube and Meta, that they were negligent in the way that they designed their apps, that led to harm in this particular 20-year-old individual identified as Kaylee GM, and that they didn't warn enough. And for that reason, that also harmed this particular plaintiff. As you point out, this is a landmark trial because this could open up the floodgates for the over 1,500 other cases that are working their way through the legal system, with the jury here saying, yeah, these companies are liable and they do need to pay up. You wonder if all these other cases are going to lead to the similar outcome as well. I should point out that we did get statements from both companies in just the last few hours. Meta saying, quote, they respectfully disagree with the verdict and evaluating their legal options, whereas YouTube saying outright that they disagree with the verdict and that they plan to appeal. And they add that they don't see themselves as a social media site. So you imagine that in the appeal process, that's going to come up. But again, this is starting the kind of like long legal battle that could unfold from here, but it's pretty significant. The jury, that's the top line, finding both of these companies negligent.
Yeah, it is significant, Misty. This is really a landmark case. 44 hours of deliberations before the jury came back with it. Are you surprised that it took that long? And legally speaking, what happened here?
So the jury really had a lot to grapple with because they had to treat both defendants as if it were two completely separate trials. So go through the analysis for Meta and YouTube. And as Brian pointed out, the defenses were a bit different with both. So they had to go through that verdict sheet and decide on liability. Then they had to decide on damages. And they weren't really given any guidance. They were just told by the plaintiff's attorney, if you award damages, what is the loss of a childhood worth, right? So they also had to come to a consensus on that number and then allocate that number between the two and then take that step further to decide whether punitives were appropriate under the circumstances, which they in fact did.
Yeah. Oh, they did decide on the punitive damages?
We don't know the number.
It's happening
but
right now.
We know that the jury decided that the plaintiffs had gotten to that standard of whether or not the defendants acted with malice. So this is a really, really high level by clear and convincing evidence that the plaintiffs have to prove to be eligible for punitive damages.
Okay.
And they're rare. So this is really a tremendous consequence.
It's a punishment, essentially,
Correct.
Brian, right? And we don't know what they'll do. But can we talk also about how this comes on the heel that was just decided yesterday?
Yeah, in New Mexico. And in that case, the verdict was that Meta, they were a singular defendant in that case, needed to pay $375 million in civil penalties to young teens and children in that state. Now, there were some differences between that New Mexico case and the Los Angeles case, most notably that in the New Mexico case, it was the state going after Meta, and they also alleged that there were not protections in place being provided by Instagram to stop young kids and children from being targeted by sexual predators on the app as well. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking $375 million in New Mexico, only $3 million in Los Angeles. But again, Los Angeles is about a single plaintiff.
Right.
That $375 million is just about children. And I should point out, similarly to LA, there's going to be a separate hearing. It's going to happen long time from now in May, but that's going to be final claims where there could also be punitive damages as well. So again, this is not the final number that these companies are going to have to pay. Although I should point out, these are companies with massive coffers.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually the argument that we're hearing right now in this punitive stage of the LA trial as the plaintiff's attorney is.
So, Meta looks like it's in a big heap of trouble. And the attorneys were using this as a test case. If they won the worst one, the one in LA, they won a $375 million judgment in the New Mexico case. This thing looks to be headed in the wrong direction, which it's about time. With the emails and the things that came out on this particular set of circumstances that we're on, Meta has been, and Google, with the emails and everything in the whistleblowers, they knew exactly what they were doing. They were trying to addict, especially kids, to these platforms, duh. And now they don't want to take responsibility for the actions of their companies. They weren't just putting this content out. They were trying to get you to addict it to make trillions of dollars. So they're not innocent in this whole thing. This will be the first of many cases. Of course, both sides will refine the case, but usually the advantage, per se, let's say, goes to the ones prosecuting just from the evidence that's come out. If they get cases that are, let's say, potentially worse victims, which are there by the hundreds of thousands, this thing could really turn their world upside down. Sheriff Chad beat Rob Bonner in court today with them trying to stop the count of the potential election fraud alleged in Riverside County over the Prop 50 and the overvotes or undervotes or didn't votes count. The court told B.S. Bonner, hey, you didn't file it in the right court. Try again, buddy. You're screwed. So it appears the count is still going on. Sheriff Chad is still looking at or seeing if there is election fraud, as his duly appointed duty is, as Sheriff of Riverside County is. And let's see where the results happen. That's all we ask for. It's stunningly significant that these cats keep showing up or keep trying to block legitimate election integrity investigations at every turn. If there's nothing going on, why are they so consumed about this? Gavin Newsom says Democrats need to be more ruthless. I get a big, humongous chuckle out of this one. I wish it were true. I wish what he was saying was true. I wish Republicans were more ruthless, more cutthroat, more willing to do whatever it takes to win, like the Democrats. This is another. Gavin Newsom's lying because Democrats are far, far more ruthless politically and in every other way than Republicans ever thought about being. But here's Gay Boy Gavin. Here we go.
Right now, we have to put a mirror up to the absurdity of the President of the United States dressing up as the Pope, cosplaying as Superman, putting his face on the side of...
First, we got to start off with, I hate Trump. Because that's the only constituency he's got left. That's the only one that are following Gay Boy Gavin everything is I hate Trump.
Mount Rushmore, attacking and belittling the communities and minorities. I don't wake up every day to try to find, a crowbar to put in the spokes of his wheel.
Holy crap. He wakes up every day. What, he's got Izzy out there tweeting 24/7, trying to copy Trump? Calling him everything but a white man? He's not trying to put crowbars in the spokes of Trump's wheel. Holy Jesus. He's doing it 24/7, 365.
I don't. That said, I'm going to stand my ground. We're going to have the backs of our diverse communities, and we're going to fight back. And yeah, fight fire with fire. And I know two wrongs don't make a right, but with all due respect, we'll lose.
Two wrongs. Oh, look at there. Look at there. Oh, puppy dog. Oh. I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry, Jenny Pooh. We need more of those brown paper sacks showing up in the backyard. I'll get them there. So you can dress in your $10,000 dresses and tell everybody what a yahoo they are.
This country as we try to win that argument. And Democrats are constantly trying to be right. The other side is ruthless. And with respect, my party needs to be more ruthless about winning because
my party needs to be more ruthless about winning. They are. That's their only concern. That is their sole focus. In fact, this is what the whole deal is. He sees that slipping away. The California governor's election, 2026. He's seeing the ruthlessness of the Democratic Party slipping away. And he can't handle it. He doesn't have the gravitas of a Willie Brown, of a John Burton, of a Big Daddy Jesse Unruh, that could go in there and tell the other candidates, hey, you need to get out of the governor's race, you need to do this, we need to consolidate around, I don't know, who they're going to do, Psycho Chick Porter, the Spy Swalwell, the Ding Dong Steyer, or Mumbles Mouth Mahon. No, he sees his power slipping away. And the only thing he's got is the hate Trump, alphabet soup crowd that wants to destroy our way of life. The way of life that has brought mankind to this point in history. And they want to flush it all down the toilet. And that's what he is 1,000% concerned about. And he sees that power slipping away. And he can't handle it.
Representatives, we may not have a fair and free election in 2028, and I really believe that.
He really believes. Oh, they're gonna flush democracy down the toilet, which we don't even have. How do we have democracy, Gulag Gavin, if we don't have free and fair elections, one man, one vote? Oh, now you're going to investigate that O'Keefe, Cam Higbee, Amy Reichert, Lori Mills, Sylvia Hernandez, and others have went out there and investigated and proven or have taped very strong video evidence of the fraud in our whole election system, whether it's gathering signatures, putting things on the ballot, counting the votes. No, you've been ruthless. You and your party, Nancy Pelosi. There isn't hardly anyone that was more ruthless in politics than Nancy Pelosi. And she, and I say she's one of the most effective, I didn't agree with her, but she was one of the most effective speakers of the House. I mean, she ruled that place with a very narrow margin. She didn't put up with crap like Mike Johnson of this. She lined up the Democrats, same thing. If you don't vote for health care, whatever, trillions of dollars in fraud, your name will be mud. So what are you going to do? Yes. Yes, Miss Nancy, we're voting. How is it that do you want to come down and hold my hand while I vote to make sure I'm doing this right, Nancy? Gavin Newsom was a benefit of that. He is now seeing that, and a lot of Democrats seeing that slip away.
30 seconds, 30 seconds.
It will be very interesting to see how this all works out. As Jesse said, we'll be on here in a few seconds on the Mighty Met KMTT. Hopefully Susan Shelley calls in, and we will get to her columns and much, much more on today's show. It will be fun.
2 seconds, here we go.
But will it be real fun?
IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
South Funky slide guitar music that comes in every Monday through Friday live at 5:30 on the Mighty Met 1490 AM, broadcasting all over the Inland Empire in the aforementioned AM band. Join our vast video audience in the Evil FB Network. YouTube, check us out. Type in IE Newswire Roy Bleckert. You'll see my nice, smiling, shining face. Of course, Meta and Google in 2 days have lost 2 big cases implicating them, finding them liable, one in New Mexico for $375 million. The weakest case they thought in LA, they're going to have to pay out about $6 or $7 million on cases where people got addicted to their platforms, had harm to them as kids. The rest of the cases that are filed are going to be cranking up like crazy, and maybe this will lead to the downfall of the idiocracy of the stupid social media networks that we have come to, and maybe we'll straighten them out and make them useful tools as they can be, but we've turned them into these, basically 3x5 screens of indoctrination camps to control your life and take away your freedoms and disassemble democracy. Sheriff Chad beat Rob Bond in court again. He's still counting the ballots here in Riverside County. We'll see if Team Temecula and Greg Langworthy are correct, or the ROV is correct, or how that happens. Just like Sheriff Chad, we're going to give you the answer and tell you what's going on. That's all we can ask for. More coming up on all of the other things going on. Did Susan ever call in, Jesse?
Nope, nothing from Susan yet.
Nothing from Susan yet? Okay. No, because it's absolutely off the charts. The idiocracy of all we got. Gavin Newsom saying his party is not ruthless enough, not as ruthless as the Republicans. That's got to be the biggest whopper gay boy Gavin has maybe said yet. Because Democrats are way 9,004,937 times way more ruthless than Republicans ever did. I wish Republicans were as ruthless as Democrats. No, like we said, they're finally, at least in California, they're seeing that power slip away, and that's what Gavin Newsom's nervous about. And we've got the Icky 8 run against Stephen Chad. And you might get a Republican governor coming out as the choice in November 2026 in California. And that scares the crap out of Gavin Newsom and the the Democrats. Here in California, they're seeing their 30-year grip on power slip away. And they are running, this is the first time I can really remember where I've seen Democrats running scared, especially in California. Before, they were strutting around like the big roosters with their cock feathers up in the air, like we're just the king of everything. Because they were. They got up to now 75% of the legislature, every state office. They were controlling everything, and they were just loving life. Well, you've seen what it's done to California. Highest gas prices, highest real estate prices, vagrants all over the place. They didn't have time to post it. But I'm coming in, and I was running late today, but I just got a couple pictures with the cop, did stop him. Coming up Indian, almost to Paris Boulevard, is this dude with the shopping cart, and it almost looked like a box delivery van, it was so high. That's what we've run, we ran the story today, or yesterday, in LA of them living in the sewers. It's almost unbelievable. Beyond any pale. That we're living this. And then they have the gall like Newsom did. Oh, we need to be as ruthless as the Republicans. Your ruthlessness has killed California. And it was nothing but the fiasco you've seen by the debate coming back. It's absolutely 1,000% off the charts. Jesse, did Susan call in?
Nope, nothing yet.
Give her a try on see if you can get her on the line or see what's going on.
Okay.
You got it. I wanted to get her because she wrote a column today on the Southern California News Group on this very subject of the debate fiasco. And why USC decided to cancel the gubernatorial debates last night. And you're seeing her other columns about the cracks in the California Democratic political machine. And that's why I say they're running scared. And it's of no consequence that it's not their own doing. Californians have given them all the tools, all the power of government, at least statewide, in the vast majority of our cities, in the vast majority of our school districts. And they have used that political power they gained by ruthlessness, doing every tactic, whatever it took. We're seeing legal and most likely illegal tactic to enrich themselves and flush us down the tubes.
There's something wrong with our lines.
On her end?
On my end.
Oh, on your end?
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Okay. Have her call in on mine.
Okay, I'll see if I can get her.
You got it. No, it's absolutely incredulous. Of what's happening. And it was all their own doing. And we'll see. We'll see if California is smart enough. We'll see if we got guts enough. To turn this ship around. Because if we don't, we're going to crash California. And when California crashes, the rest of the United States and probably the world, this is going to touch off a Great Depression that will reverberate all around the world.
She'll be calling in on your line.
Okay, we'll see if that'll work. But no, it's absolutely out of control. The state California's gotten to. And if we don't fix this now, with this opportunity we've got, it'll be absolutely stunning. The stupidity we've got going on. And if you look at it, at this, we better have our act together. Ah, man. All the fun things that are going on. Somehow she's not coming through on that. Go check the email I sent. I just sent, that's the number to call in, see if that one will work, Jesse.
Okay, I will let her know.
You got it. It'll be absolutely one of the biggest missed opportunities we've ever had if we don't fix this. And it's
Hello?
It's beyond the pale. I finally got you, Susan?
Hello? Can you hear me?
This is one of those days of of that. Oh, I pulled my thing out. Hang on a second. Do I finally have you, Susan? No Susan Shelley here either. Oh my. Yeah. The inevitable, here we go. Let's see if I can get rid of this. This has been my day all day today. It's I don't know. I think today is trying to get me to be the day. It's trying to get me to give up. It's trying to throw everything I can. I couldn't even get Susan on this line. But it's been, they canceled the debates. And last night. And we're sitting there looking. And they try to claim racism. It ain't racism. This is the state of California. And maybe it took us to get to this point before we would finally realize that we, the people, have done this to ourselves. And we're the ones that are going to have to straighten this whole enchilada out. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to take a lot of intestinal fortitude. It's going to take a lot of ignoring stupidity. But what do we want to do? Do we have guts enough to do it? James O'Keefe was on with Benny Johnson about the whole fraud investigations he's been going through. And he's kind of said the same things. If there's not going to be any arrests, if people are not going to do anything, then hey, what's the point? Here's some of that interview. Here we go.
You say that you have people potentially flipping on the higher-ups. Who are the higher-ups? What does your gut tell you?
Well, right now, I have people in the field.
The money's coming from somewhere.
Yes, it is.
And it's a lot of money. Even if it's $5 per signature to a homeless person, there's like suitcases of hundreds of thousands of dollars where the $5 comes from, right?
That's correct. You got a huge audience. So if I say what it is right now, it might hurt my ability over the next few days to continue getting it. But
of course,
there's petitioners and there's coordinators, and it appears as though this is like organized crime. And the thing about organized crime is it's extremely dangerous. So you could have gangs involved in this. There are companies that do this, but they're criminal actions. So there's out-of-state people that come into California. They make a lot of money. And we've been given the names of those companies, and we're currently tracking them down. But yeah, James O'Keefe and Cam Higbee and Savannah Hernandez and Anthony Rubin and John Cho has a report out today. We are going to find the higher-ups and expose them. But I think the question we have to ask ourselves is, without accountability, what does it matter? What does it matter? If no one is held accountable, does bringing it to I guess the question for your audience, this is a rhetorical question, is, do you want me to continue doing this? Do you want me to continue exposing it? Does it even matter? I mean, that's a rhetorical question. I'm not going to answer that. Because I can stop. I can give up. I can retire. But I'm not gonna put my life in harm's way and my people's life, because they were almost killed, for nothing. It's not worth it. I think you would agree with that. So I can go away.
This goes to the whole thing happened nationally in California, everywhere. If we don't get voter ID, and we don't get some on elections, as you see people now, they're walking away. We don't see them prosecuting, arresting, fixing the fraud. When you got guys like James O'Keefe saying, you know, is it time to throw in the towel and say the hell with it? This is where we're at. Maybe we'll get to a point. And hopefully that point is. Hopefully California will get its act together. Hopefully California will fire the shot in June 2nd of 2026. We'll start peeling this onion back. We'll say no to the ruthlessness of the Democratic Party and the kook left especially, that have flipped the once golden state. Because we're one of those critical mass...
Susan is calling your phone.
Yeah, it's not working on my end either, or yet. It's been going that way all day today. I'm not surprised. Here's more from the O'Keefe interview. Here we go.
I can be on a sabbatical until someone is arrested. But I'm not going to put my people's life in danger every week for nothing to happen. That's honest. I'm just being vulnerable and transparent with the world. I'm not going to get killed. I saw what happened to Charlie Kirk. I don't want to die. I need to stay on this earth to keep exposing the truth. So I can go on vacation. I can go away. And when y'all are going to arrest somebody, I'll come back. Because
that's pretty much what the situation is. When you arrest somebody, we'll call back. So I'm assuming you don't have Susan on your line. I got her on mine. Is that where we're at, Jesse?
Yeah, I'll talk to you tomorrow. She said she'd call back tomorrow.
You got it. Okay, we'll try that. Yeah, no, it's... And like I say, that's just been typical of my day to day. So that's why I'm not panicking or upset. It's just like standard operating procedure. But it'll be something, one for the record books. And like O'Keefe says, you know, if I quit, you know, I may come back, may not. Look at how many people have quit the political process that were good, hard-working Americans, lunch bell toting, salt of the earth. And they just threw up their hands, said to hell with it. They left California thinking, oh, you know, they're just a bunch of fruits and nuts and that. And then it's coming, you know, the $5 a gallon of gas and diesel is coming to your area. Just like we told you it would. We should. And this may be the final warning we are getting before everything really turns to ass. Here's more with O'Keefe.
I'll tell you what, getting punched in the neck, having nobody get arrested, it's not right. It's immoral is what it is. And the Republicans are in power. The Attorney General of the United States has the jurisdiction to arrest someone tomorrow. I haven't seen any statements on the internet or on Fox News or anywhere else about this. And I frankly, I get there's egos involved, but I think it's a form of cowardice. I'm glad the president is talking about it. I think he should continue to talk about it. And I will continue to keep releasing videos this week. But I'm pissed off. And I'm pissed off because my friend and my closest colleague was violently assaulted and came an inch from we came an inch from losing our lives. Knives and guns there. And I need something to happen.
I think most of us are at that point. We want to see something. We want to see something happening here in the United States. Yeah, whatever's going on over there in the Sahara Desert or whatever, the threats that are going on, whether they're legitimate or not. We should be dealing first with America first, with the problems that are going on here. Like O'Keefe's crew. They get assaulted and nobody's arrested. They walk up to the cops saying, hey, there appears to be felonies going on over here every day. Well, I don't know, maybe you should sue that's a civil case. Why don't you use your money again to go sue them and not the money you already paid us to go take care of this situation? That's why Rob Bonta and stuff thinks he's bold enough to be suing Sheriff Chad over counting the votes here in Riverside County. And again, this is a fairly simple one. It's just one issue, Prop 50. We went through it, the redistricting deal. Only question was on the ballot. So you don't have to count the votes on sewer cleaning commissioner who was on the Riverside County School Board that 98.7% of the people don't pay attention to. Should be real cut and dried. Yet they're pulling out all stops to stop it. The drunk Clarissa Cervantes is setting this law and that law. Well, you ain't winning in court, lady. Robbie. Maybe you overplayed your ruthlessness hand, gay boy Gavin. Hopefully we shall see. We've got to, well, let me put it another way. This should be enlightening a majority of the people. You either get your S together now while you still got a chance to save this. Because as we've said in another one of the Royisms 101, addressing things after the fact 98.7% of the time is too late. So, especially you in California, let's pull the strategy, top 2 in June to win. Then we set ourselves up to win even bigger in November. And if we turn this state around, and you start unleashing California, we can bail the rest of this country out. That's how powerful this piece of ground is, and the people in it. That'll do it for today, finally. As you usually say at this time, Mad Star, you're back here 23 hours wide. You're the best darn show in the whole wide world. Till then, see ya. Well, that was about right.
Yeah, that's just about it. I'm going to be testing phone lines right now, and I will give you a call in a bit to tell you how it is.
Okay, yeah, just whatever. We'll see what it goes. I'll retest. The one time I did see your call in on that, but it didn't hit on mine. I'm going to check mine out too. But maybe with the two of us, one of them we can get them working tomorrow.
I better. All right, I'll talk to you later.